Good morning, Glacier. It's Thursday, November 19th. I'm Elijah.
And I'm Hallie, and here are your morning announcements. At the end of this episode, Officer Fusaro and Officer Clark will present their school safety run, lock, fight video. Now here's what you need to know.
This week is Glacier High School's celebration of International Education Week. French and Spanish students, don't forget that today is our International Movie Night featuring the Gaelic film The Secret of the Kells from 3:20 to 5 p.m. in B218. See you there.
Interested in being on the GHS swim team this year? Unfortunately, all swimmers must try out because of COVID-19 restrictions at the summit. Last night was the evaluation for potential girls on the team. Tonight, a swim skills evaluation / tryout will take place at 6:30 p.m. for boys interested in joining the Wolfpack swim team. Please contact Coach Karen Bauda if you have any questions.
The next boys basketball open gym is tonight. Freshmen will go from 6 to 7 p.m. and grades 10 to 12 will go from 7 to 8 p.m. Next week, there will be an open gym on Monday morning at 6 a.m. Also, next Monday, there will be a meeting for all athletes interested in playing boys basketball after school in room E118. If you cannot attend the meeting, stop by room E118 and talk to Coach Harkins.
Read Cafe is the library's book club, and students and staff are encouraged to participate. The next selection is The Golem and the Genie by Helen Wecker. This amazing fantasy chronicles the chance meeting between mythical beings and takes readers on a dazzling journey through cultures and the turn-of-the-century New York. See Miss Moore to check out your one-of-a-kind copy of this story.
Now it's time for our Run, Lock, Fight training. Here's Mr. Hours to introduce the assembly.
Welcome, Wolfpack. I just want to introduce Officer Clark and Officer Fusaro. They're going to be doing the Run, Lock, Fight video for us today. We were unable to perform a Run, Lock, Fight assembly this year due to COVID restrictions and the gathering of people into one place. So I just wanted to take this moment to let you guys know that we're going to be going through the video. There's going to be some content and stuff there that might create a little bit of anxiety and things that we'll have to do as a school if we come underneath emergency type situations. And just want everyone to just kind of preload you guys and get you guys' mindset ready for the upcoming video. These are things that we have to do to keep our schools safe, unfortunately. School shootings and the things that happen within the schools around the country. It's just something that we need to be preloaded for and take precautions for to keep everyone safe. So I just wanted you to have the proper mindset and be ready for the presentation that is about to take place. If you have any questions or things that you need to talk about after the video, please come down to the counseling center or to the administrative offices and we can help talk you through those things. Thank you and good day, and thank you for Officer Clark and Fusaro for presenting this video for us today.
All right. Hello, my name is Officer Clark and this is Officer Fusaro. We're with the Kalispell Police Department and we're here today to talk to you about active intruder and Run, Lock, Fight. We are both members of the Northwest Run, Lock, Fight group, and in the days before COVID, what we've done for the past 4 years is go around to each individual school. We've almost hit all the schools in the valley, and I think we've taught about 3,000 different teachers and probably close to 50 schools or different venues on what to do in case of an active intruder.
All right, thanks for being here. Again, today we're going to talk about Run, Lock, Fight individually through a PowerPoint presentation, so we appreciate your time. And we just want to let you know that this is just a life tool for our toolbox. This is not a political debate. This is just something that has shown that has worked throughout the years, research-based, and we think is most important for our students and staff. So we appreciate you being with us.
So during the course of the PowerPoint today, some of the ideas we're going to talk about are whether to run, whether to lock, or heaven forbid we have to fight. They don't happen in any particular order. After viewing and learning from the PowerPoint, you will know in which situation what is dictated to you, what you will do in that situation, whether it is to do one of those three things. One of the reasons that we feel this Run, Lock, Fight training is so important is because it's what you do the instant an incident takes place that is so important. The police might not arrive for 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, and studies have shown that every 15 seconds someone can become a casualty. And so it's very important what you do to save your life as well as the lives of others in acting and moving in the correct ways.
All right, thanks again for joining us here. We're going to jump into the PowerPoint, and we appreciate your time.
What is or what defines an active shooter? An active shooter is an individual or individuals actively engaged in killing or attempting to kill people in a confined and populated area.
And remember, the goal of an active intruder is to cause as much harm as possible. And it's our job through training and preparedness to mitigate that. And we can do that through Run, Lock, Fight.
Why do we train? This training is meant to give students options to stay safest when confronted with dangerous or life-threatening situations. The knowledge and skills shown here can help you potentially make effective and life-saving split-second decisions. During a critical active intruder incident, studies show that on average, someone can lose their life every 15 seconds. The average incident is over in 3 to 4 minutes. Police response time could vary greatly from 2 to 7 minutes locally. It is your response that is going to make the greatest difference in that time frame. The positive steps that you take before law enforcement arrives can greatly impact the outcome of the incident for you and others around you.
So today we're hoping to let you guys know about the 3 phases of the critical incident: denial, deliberation, and the decisive act. And of course, Run, Lock, Fight are the strategies to these. So Run, Lock, Fight not only can be applicable to the school, but we also want you guys to start thinking about just your situational awareness everywhere you go, whether it's in the school or outside in the community. And remember, we're just trying to get your guys' shift in thinking, and having that situational awareness is so important.
Before we can take any action, including run, lock, or fight, we need to understand what will be happening to our bodies as they react to this extreme stress. During any critical incident, our body's mental and physical responses to stressors can act as either a help or a hindrance. The chart on the right shows some of the detrimental effects that an extremely increased heart rate might have on your body. These can vary anywhere from your fine motor skills deteriorating, things like you might not be able to hold a pen. Other things, your body doesn't think, your brain doesn't think as well as it should. You might lose part of your vision, get tunnel vision, or not be able to hear things correctly. This increases and increases, and you can see at the end there, you can actually, that's where your body might freeze up. You might not be able to react in any way at all. The best way to negate the negative effects of the fight or flight response is through combat breathing. Combat breathing makes you slow down and focus on the simple task of breathing, thereby allowing your heart rate, blood pressure, and respiration to come back to a more reasonable state. Let's practice a set of combat breaths together. You're going to begin by taking a breath for a count of 4 in through your nose. Once you've completed that breath, you're going to hold it in for a count of 4. Now you're going to exhale through your mouth for a count of 4 and hold that breath out for a count of 4. Then repeat the process as many times as you can until you feel relief.
Along with the stressors our body and brain experience during a critical incident, there are also 3 different phases of acceptance we must process as well. One of them being denial. And a classic example of this is you hear a loud sound in the hallway and it kind of sounds out of place. Do you want to, how hard is it just to poke your head out and take a look and say, oh, it was a balloon that was popped or a book that was dropped, rather than doing nothing and just going about your day hoping that it's nothing out of the ordinary. That's the type of thinking that we want you to change, and getting past that denial is that first step. Once we move past the denial phase comes the deliberation phase, and this is where Officer Clark talked a little bit in a couple previous slides, where our fine motor skills might get diminished, where we're going to have difficult time, turning a key in a lock, things like that, time distortion. Remember, use combat breathing. Once we can get past this comes the acting phase.
All right, so we've gone through deny
deliberate, now we've come to the decisive moment. In this instance, we're going to talk about the strategy of running. All right. So it seems simple. Everybody knows how to run. You've run your entire life. There's some strategies that you'd like to employ. We'd like you to employ here to make the outcome as best that it can be. We're not going to run in a straight line. We're going to bob and weave. We're not going to run next to walls. You're never going to stop. If you're running out of a building, school, what have you, you're not going to go to your car in the parking lot. You're going to just keep on running until you are not a target any longer. Keep utilizing your situational awareness. Know your escape routes, exits, windows.
If you're in a situation where you feel like locking down is your safest option, this is kind of what it looks like. We want you to cover the door the best that you can. Throw bookshelves over it, chairs, stack computers, anything and everything that you guys can think of. You guys have great imaginations, and this is a time to use it. So keep quiet as possible, darken the room, call 911 if you can. We also want you to start thinking about, can you enter run mode again? Always keep that in the back of your mind. However, make sure you guys barricade that door so that nobody can get in, or it is extremely difficult for them to get in.
I like to think of it as the big three. Locking the door, making sure that door is locked before anything else, because that is your best bet. All schools have solid core wood doors. They're going to provide you a lot of protection, but make sure you lock it first. Shut the lights off and cover that window. If you cannot be seen, you cannot be a target. So we've got some additional thoughts on things to consider when thinking about locking down. When you're barricading and getting that door locked. Is it an outward opening door? Is it an inward opening door? These are some of the things that you would want to be thinking about in your situational awareness to know prior to an emergency taking place. Don't hide out in bathrooms. They generally don't have outward doors, and you can't barricade anyone out. It's not a very good place to hide out. Once you do go into that lockdown mode, some of the other things you want to do, be quiet, maintain silence, stay out of sight of any windows that you couldn't block. And at this point, you have to be ready to fight if someone does make it in through the door. Another thing to think of is maybe going back into run mode. If you can see a path to safety out a window that you can open or break, and then get out of there. Here's some custom lockdown tools that I've seen in use around the valley at various schools. On the left, you can see a custom blind that rolls down to cover the door's internal window pane. The center photo, you can see a custom screen print that allows those inside to see out, but others not to be able to see in. On the far right, you see a magnetic strip that allows the door's strike plate to remain in a locked position but not engage the door during class time. If an emergency arises, quickly pull the magnet out of place and the door will be locked.
So after covering, running, and locking down comes fight. And this is our last resort. remember, with fight, there are no rules. It's you versus them, you versus him, you versus her, and our goal is to get you to go home at night. All right, that's the only goal, is to survive. Obviously, 2 is better than 1, 5 is better than 2. So we want you to use that pack mentality. And our goal here is, again, to prevent you guys from doing nothing. Okay, we want you to win. We want you to be safe and to fight, to come up with anything and everything you can use as a weapon to protect yourselves and to protect others. Again, using that imagination that you guys have is, use that to your benefit here. And again, last resort is fighting, but be prepared.
Well, in the first scenario, we were sitting in class. Take it down! Yeah.
Somebody got the gun?
I got the gun!
Okay. Okay, you got him down. Well, who's doing what now? He's
Someone
down.
call 911. Call 911! I will call 911.
To finish up speaking about fight in the presentation, I want to talk about your mindset, having a survivor's and not a victim's mindset. You have to think about it this way. You didn't ask for anyone to come to your school or your place of work and try to hurt people. They made that decision. Your decision is what you do from there. You're going to go home no matter what. Whether they do or not is irrelevant, but you're going to go home. All right? You can see in the upper right-hand corner Lieutenant Brian Murphy. He was in an incident in Oak Creek, Wisconsin in 2012. I got to meet him and listen to his story. He responded to an active shooter situation. He ended up getting shot approximately 15 times, I believe. You can see some of the scars in his picture. His talk is about the power of human spirit and the will to survive and never giving up. Even though he was shot that many times, he never ever gave up and told himself he was going to win that day, and he did. So now we're going to transition away from what you do when you make the choice to run, lock, or fight to what to expect when the police arrive on scene. You have to understand, when the police get to this call, they're going to be experiencing much of the same emotion and physical stressors that you are. They're going to be doing their combat breathing, trying to keep as calm as they can. They might not have the information of what the suspect looks like, who they are. So everyone could be treated and will be treated like a suspect until they know what's going on. The best thing you can do in this situation is help give any information you may have as to what you saw, where the shooter is. But the very most important thing you can do is show us your hands. Raise your hands, put them out in front of you, and we'll move on from there. Obviously, the main priority for police when they arrive on scene at the school or business is to find and neutralize the active intruder. They're going to be running by you. If they ask directions or descriptions, please try to give it to them, again, while showing your hands. If they pass you by and you're wounded, just know they will come back once the primary job is done. They have to stop more wounded or people from being killed, and then they will refocus on the wounded and getting people out of the building and making it safe for medical to come in and get to everyone else.
Thanks for watching the presentation with us. We, to summarize things, we talked about some things that might happen in a critical incident, physical changes throughout your body, but also diving into run, lock, fight. And we just hope that you guys use this tool anywhere you go, because remember, it can be out in the community, in the school, in a business, wherever you're at. And again, we just want this to be a tool for your life's toolbox. And we hope that you guys can participate in Run Lock Fight training in the future, and we thank you for your time.
Yep, Wiley's exactly right. Hopefully, in the future, we can get Run Lock Fights back up and running, not in just the virtual format, but get back out to schools and start doing that, because it's a great tool. It's a great way of thinking and going through your life being safe. So thank you very much for watching.
Be safe, Glacier. All of the other announcements and GTV episodes can be found on the school website.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to respect yourself, respect others, and respect the building.